So my first time that I took shrooms, I took 4 grams. I put it in a big smoothie because I had read online and done research that you could put it in like a smoothie with like lemon and like other stuff that's like acidic basically, and it would uh, basically hit harder, or not hit harder, sorry. It would be like a quicker, faster trip. So I was like, okay, sick. I didn't really feel like tripping for like 4 to 6 hours kind of thing. So I was like, okay, cool. Let me do this quicker kind of thing. I didn't realize it hit harder though. So yeah, I took 4 grams my first time, which 4 grams is already a ton, and it was 4 grams of penis envy, which are pretty potent mushroom, and it was unlike anything that I have ever experienced in my life, both good and bad. It wasn't a bad trip per se. It was definitely just very overwhelming and just a lot. And mind you, that was like my first actual time taking shrooms. I had tried like the chocolate bar before, and it didn't do much. And that's why I took 4 grams, because the first couple times was I did 2 grams of a chocolate bar, and then 3 grams of the chocolate bar after, because it was a 5 gram bar. So I did 2 my first time, 3 my second time. So it's like, okay, 3 was pretty chill, you know. Nothing really happened with the 3. So I was like, let me do 4 of like actual mushrooms. Boy, did I fuck up. So I was actually in this room. I was laying down on my bed back there. It's covered in a bunch of shit right now. But I was laying down on my bed, and so I drank the smoothie. It was about 10:30. Drank the smoothie, and like 15, 20 minutes goes by, and I start to feel it in my chest. And I was like, okay, I think it started. Turned off all the lights. Had no music going. That was another thing. If you've ever listened to Terrence McKenna, which I've listened to a lot of him, I've listened to a lot of like Alan Watts, stuff like that, people like that. But he said the most beneficial way to take shrooms is to take 5 dried grams, which I took 4, but 4 is still a lot. Basically take 5 dried grams of shrooms in a dark room with blindfold and noise cancellation headphones. And that's what I did. Minus the headphones. Did not have headphones on, but it was still quiet. Like there wasn't anything going on. But I had blindfold. Actually, I had this one right here. I had this thing on right here. But yeah, I took 4 grams, and I was laying down in my bed. Started to feel it in my chest. Put the blindfold on. Turned off all the lights. And I was like, okay, sick. So I'm not sure how much time kind of went by from when I put the blindfold on to when I started tripping, because I didn't even know that I was tripping until I took the blindfold off. And I'll get to that in a second. So trip starts. I'm laying down in my bed, and all of a sudden I'm in this like 5-dimensional room. And the best way to describe it, it's like an ice crystal castle basically, and it's like in a I don't know how to describe it, like I don't know how to describe a 5th dimension, but like it was 5 dimensions. I was viewing myself from a 5th dimensional place, or like a overhanging spot. Like I wasn't in my body anymore, and I was laying on this table, and I don't see anything, but I can feel like energies around me. I can feel like 3 different entities or whatever around me. I don't see them, but I can sure as hell feel it. So I'm in this huge room, and I'm laying down there, and it feels like they started doing like surgery on me. But I don't like, it's not like a like uncomfortable feeling, but it just felt like they were messing around my body. And I didn't really know what was happening, so I just kind of just like, I was like, chill. Also at this point, I still had no idea that I was tripping. I just went from here, this like reality, all of this, to somewhere completely else in an instant. And I'm laying down, they're doing like surgery on me. And it feels like they're like breaking me down to my core, like like it just felt like I was being broken down to like a single like specimen, or a single like atom, basically. And I get to that point, and then it chills out for a second, and I feel like I get sent up to another area, and this area is like almost void, like it's just all black. But I'm sitting on this like what's like an island, and this island has same design, like huge like castle door, and there is a huge like cartoonishly large lock on it, like a huge lock, like I mean massive. And I stand around on top of this little island for what feels like 20 to 30 minutes. Like I'm just like pacing around, walking around for what feels like 20 to 30 minutes. Now mind you, I'm tripping, so obviously this probably was only like a minute in real time. um and also at this point I still had no idea that I was tripping. Finally, I'm like, okay, let me go into the door. I've just been standing here for what feels like 20, 30 minutes. Let me go into the door. So, walk towards the door. I put my hand on the door. And I kid you not, the minute that I put my hand on the door, I feel this huge electric shock go through my entire body. Like, physically, I'm feeling this. And at this point, I still don't know that I'm tripping. And I feel like go through my body like 2 or 3 times. And it's like when you touch, when you get shocked and you feel it like your finger, you feel it in your hand, whatever. I felt that through my entire body. And I've never felt anything like that before. And I touch it. And I feel like after that electric shock, I feel like I physically get kicked in the chest. And then I feel like I'm falling. And I feel like I'm just like falling from this island into this void. And at this point, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I took off my blindfold, and I had this sun lamp. This one right here. I got this thing right here. This sun lamp. So I had that sun lamp, and it was connected to my TV that's over there. And sometimes when my TV turns off, or when I turn my TV off, and that was plugged into it, for some reason that would turn back on. This happened to be one of the times that it turned back on. So my entire room was red. And I kid you not, I mean, you can see the ceiling fan right there. I kid you not, this whole entire room was just like melting. Like there was nothing left of reality itself in here. My room was like shrinking and getting bigger. The walls felt like they were coming towards me, and like there was no like my depth perception visually there, it was just like mush. There was so like I couldn't even like I don't know how to describe it aside from just like everything was just falling apart. Everything was melting away. And in this moment I was like, I fucked up. Like it was an oh shit moment. And so I put the blindfold back on, and I proceed to go from here back to like insane visuals. Like sometimes I feel in my past experiences, aside from that first one, sometimes it takes a minute for like the closed eye visuals to kind of kick in. Like your eyes kind of have to like readjust, and then your outer surroundings kind of like go away, and you're just kind of in your own mind basically, and then the closed eye visuals kind of begin there. And during that trip, it was just like I opened my eyes and it's visuals going crazy like here, and I close my eyes and I'm somewhere completely different in an instant. So this kind of goes on for like what feels like 30-45 minutes. And mind you, I drank my mushroom smoothie at like 10:30 at night. So it's probably like 11:30 at this point. Yeah, I just kind of go through the motions. Just a very overwhelming feeling. A lot of body tension. A lot of just the body felt very heavy. Mind was just like going, going, going. Um, and finally, I just like take off the blindfold again, and I'm just like closing my eyes. I'm tossing and turning in my bed, kind of like freaking out in a way, but I wasn't like freaking out. Like I knew that I was tripping at this point, and I knew that it was like just a lot. I just wasn't expecting it. I was not expecting that. Um, and finally, um, I remember in my head, I'm like, okay. I remember I watched the video. It said if things get too much, try and change your setting, change the music, try to change the headspace that you're in, basically. So I had my laptop next to me. So I was going to put some music on. My Spotify was opened up already. And I can't read a single thing. My laptop is like my Spotify. I like if you remember the original Minecraft enchantment table, that's what everything looked like. Every single word, line, song, artist name, everything was just Minecraft enchantment table. That's the best way to explain it. And I was like, oh shit, I fucked up. I can't read English. I can't understand it. And that freaked me out. Kind of set me down. Like I kind of spiraled a little bit from there. And I looked at my keyboard, same exact thing. And on top of that, the keyboard was going back and forth, like visually, like it was moving back and forth. Like the waviness was going crazy. And like none of the letters on the keyboard made sense. Finally, just pressed my space bar, music started to play. Grounded me instantly. And then I played this. I know the songs that played because I had to play this up. But the first three songs were from LSC and Search for God. Beautiful music. But yeah, they kind of it grounded me for a little bit. I think I got like 5 songs in. I got to think like, I think there was like 3 songs from LSC and Search for God that played. There was like 1 or 2, or there was one from Allison's Halo, and then I think I stopped playing on Starflyer 59 because I was like, okay, this is way too much. Like the music started to get to me. So stopped it again, and I kind of go back into my head, and at this point, getting closer to 12 o'clock, and I had my phone next to me, and I look at the time, it said 11:51. So in my head, I was like, okay, it's probably been like an hour. It had been a little bit over an hour. And I was like, okay, it's 11:51. Probably got another hour and a half of this. And I put my phone back down, closed my eyes, kind of toss and turn for what felt like 3-4 hours. No joke. I felt like I was tossing and turning for hours on end. And I turn back over, look at my phone. It's at 11:52, and I kid you not, in that moment, I just like kind of lost it. I was like, oh shit, I like really fucked up, because at this point, time is just like non-existent, and it just like everything is just like doesn't make sense. I close my eyes, I'm somewhere else. The time is going by, I can feel every single like second of every single minute of every single hour. Like it's insane. And put my phone back down, and I kind of just spiral after that. The visuals are kicking even harder at this point. Like closed eye visuals were kicking even harder. The best way I can explain my closed eye visuals was huge green hills with a big checkerboard like path, like going endlessly into the distance, and then in the sky it was like gesture faces kind of everywhere. And like the visuals didn't really freak me out. Like it wasn't that, it was just how intense everything was. It just kind of spiraled me and freaked me out in that way. Like, it wasn't the visuals itself, it was just how much was going on. Kind of like threw me in for a loop. And so many things that I wasn't expecting happened. It was a big like fuck around and find out kind of thing. I've definitely learned since then. I have not had an experience like that since. But like in the moment after that, I was sitting in bed, and I kind of like forgot my name. I forgot who I was. I didn't know where I was. I believe that's ego dissolution or something else. I forget the other one name, but yeah, I kind of just forgot everything about myself, and I kind of started to cry a little bit, and then it kind of went away. I kind of like brought myself back. I don't really know. And then after all of that, this was like basically like right about the end, or yeah, this was towards the end of the peak. Like this is like I'm peaking basically at this point. And pretty much like right at the end of the peak, I start getting into these like really deep thought loops. And the best way I can explain thought loops is if you ever watched Naruto, the anime, Genjutsu. I think that's the best way to explain thought loops, because it's like the same thing just happening over and over and over again, and it feels like it's an eternity, but in reality it's only like a few minutes. So this just kept happening over and over and over and over again. And I was like, at this point, I had kind of like grasped my mind again, and was like, okay, what the fuck is the point of this? Like, what am I trying to be shown at this point? And in this moment of thought loop, the word habit came to mind. And I kid you not, the minute that word popped in my head, everything just shut off. Like, the body sensation, everything just kind of died off. Like, everything kind of went back to base level in a way. Like, I went from like 1,000 to like back to like base level at 100. And I was like, it took me a minute. I was like, what the fuck just happened? And at this point, the lights have been off, by the way, the whole entire time. I never turned them on. I don't know why. I think I was just kind of scared too. And finally, I chilled out, turned the lights back on, and by this time it's probably like 1:30, 1:45 in the morning. And I was pretty chill, back to kind of base level. The visuals kind of were just slowly fading off, and I just kind of like enjoyed the fading of the visuals. Like, that's probably about the only part of the trip that I enjoyed was the end of it, of everything kind of fading away, because I finally got to like sit there and like, whoa, like I had swords sitting in the corner of my room, and they were like almost like a hologram, like they were kind of separating from each other, which is really cool to see. And then after that, I kind of played some music to like kind of wind down, and didn't go to bed until like, I don't know, 4 or 5 in the morning, and then woke up like 3 hours later. I barely slept. Woke up like 3 hours later, and I just kind of sat in my chair for like 2 hours, kind of being like, what the fuck happened? Was that even real? Like, yeah, I don't even know. Easily craziest experience on shrooms. That was like, I would consider my first one, because my first two were just like the chocolate bars, which really didn't do anything. Especially considering that I took 2 grams my first time, which just made me really giggly and laughing, and some mild distortion. And the second one was 3 grams, and just kind of my perception changed. Like my depth perception, like the time a little bit, just like little things like that. So that's why I took 4 grams then. So yeah, it was like full ego melt away. Like I just like kind of lost it a little bit, but it was like, I don't regret it at all. Like, it's not a regretful experience. It's not something that I wouldn't do again. I tripped plenty of times after that, and I still do, and I love it, which is kind of crazy to think about. And when I tell people that story, Um, it definitely, I think it strays a lot of people away from mushrooms when I tell them that story because they're like, "What the fuck?" Because it really is a what the fuck trip. But yeah, no regrets. Crazy experience. Don't do drugs. Although I don't consider mushrooms a drug, but anyways, that's a whole different story. Um, yeah. Peace.